Hello again, Sandwich. I'm Greg Anderson. Thank you for joining me today. We are talking with candidates. In fact, those that are going to be up for your vote on Thursday, May 5th. We are talking to anyone that would come in and talk to me. I'm a lonely man sitting in this studio here. But one discussion we are going to have today is talking about the selectman race. There are 4 people vying for 2 seats, and the gentleman sitting to my left is Charlie Holden, who is the incumbent in the race. Charlie, good to see you.
Nice to see you, Greg.
Yeah, I haven't seen you for a long time, though Facebook, we stay in touch.
Yes, we do.
So tell me a little bit about, why the heck are you doing this again? What's bringing you back to the race?
I like Sandwich, love Sandwich, in fact. And I think we've accomplished a lot as a board over the past 3 years, and I'm looking to build on that progress for the town.
What would you point to as your accomplishments? What can you draw that Charlie Holden touched this and therefore it's an accomplishment in your mind?
Oh, the library renovation, the Center for Active Living that's under construction. Even in my time on FinCom, that when the emergency services facility was put into place, that you'll recall there was a transition on the fire department, and I happened to bring that kind of experience up here from New Jersey, and I interviewed with Chief Burke and come on board, and I was a part of that group that put the firehouse together.
Okay, what would you say has been your biggest challenge?
Communication.
How so?
I have difficulties making a formal presentation of anything, and I find that it holds me back a little bit at times because I'm reluctant to do it. But then again, you have to do what you have to do, and I think I do an adequate job after a while.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I understand that. Let's talk a little bit. I wanted to ask you about the last selectmen meeting, particularly the discussion about the Treehouse Brewery and the liquor discussion. That meeting became very contentious, and it became something I've never seen before. You were sitting up at the table. Tell me what happened in your mind.
I think that the neighbors have a disconnect with that establishment, and they felt that the town signed off on an agreement which, in their mind, prevented parking, restricted the flow of traffic. And actually it does not. That all the town signed on to was to enforce the law, and if they want changes made, to offer a petition to make changes in parking regulations in the area. And none of that's happened. So they just thought that we were remiss in holding up our end of the bargain, and all we did was sign on to enforcing the law. If I can repeat myself, I'm sorry, but yeah, that's all we did.
So how did it become so explosive?
I think they felt a disagreement on the board's part, and it became explosive more that. Nobody wanted to take their turn, that everybody wanted to speak at the same time, and you just can't have that in a public atmosphere because nobody will understand what's being said or why.
Well, the whole notion of kind of that in your face anger that we see in these public settings, the Historic District Committee, people are walking out. They're angry. They're using these platforms to, voice anger, and the selectmen, like I said, I've never seen that before. Does that concern you when you think now you're going to have a change? If you get some of these, people that are brand new to never having been in an elected office before, in a setting like that, how are you feeling about, is the board able to pull back and say, okay, time out, that wasn't cool, we got to clean our act up, we got to do a better job? Is the board going to go there, bring that decorum back, in your mind? And I know I'm being dramatic over one incident, but that was a big one.
You've seen in my relationships in town, I'm a member of sandwich stands, besides being a member of the board, et cetera. And that's what sandwich stands is about. To listen, stay calm,
yeah,
and then have a conversation, not an argument.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I think that's what the board's about. That the chairman had to take charge of the situation because it was getting out of control. But after he established that we can't conduct ourselves this way, I think that the discussion became a little bit less dramatic, calmed down a bit.
Last question on that. What were you guys talking about after the meeting? About that meeting in particular? Well,
the volume disturbed everybody a little bit, but also the lack of understanding about what the agreement said.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it. Okay. Thank you. Let me talk about this.
Can I add?
Please.
Please. The lack of understanding and folks in the area have to realize that there was always a restaurant there, and there was always beer, wine, and whiskey being poured. You move into the area, and you need to realize that a lot of people actually moved there because of the beach and the establishment, which had been there since 1947, I think.
Yeah.
So this shouldn't be any surprise to anyone. When you're interested in real estate, that there are three things to consider: location, and location.
Location. Yeah. Let me rip through some of these things. You mentioned in your material that you want to make the community more involved in projects, beach nourishment, some of the political issues. Can you give me an example of how you would like the community to be more involved in issues?
Oh gosh, the beach is a big one. Trustees of sandwich beaches and et cetera. Even in the emergency service establishment, in fact, the course is going on as we speak. Citizens police. It's a great thing to come to understand the hows and the whys of the way the police conduct themselves.
And that's a way to get the community more involved.
Absolutely.
Where do you stand on recreational marijuana in Sandwich?
I'm not in favor.
Why?
In part, in the large part because there's no a facility right now to test for impairment, that you can't blow into the tube and, he's over the limit. That's a big concern of mine, and I know it's shared by a lot of police officers as well.
Have you talked with the chief about it? Have you had, what, you don't need to be specific about the who and the what, but how do you do research as a selectman? How, you know that the issue is coming forward. How do you do research to say, yeah, I got to land somewhere in here, but I got to talk to these people to understand what's the Charlie Holden process for doing research on topics like that?
Well, when this was first up for a consideration, and the town voted against it, I had conversation with the chief, with the state a representative at the time, and that's how I did my research. That's how I came to my, in the public ballot, a decision to vote no.
So you obviously, it's interesting as a selectman. My dad was a selectman, and you're never 100% winning the popular opinion, or you're always wrong in someone's mind.
Sure.
Some say it's a thankless job.
That's human nature, but I don't know that it's a thankless job, but that's human nature.
Yeah. How is it though when you look at topics that are as so I wouldn't say controversial, but they're so motivated by energy. There's energy in town to say yes or no, recreational marijuana as an example. How comfortable are you making those hard decisions, and can you, meaning going against the grain, going against the popular vote, and can you give me an example of a decision that you had to make that really did put you in a position of like, this is not going to go over well, but I gotta do it anyway? Can you give me an example of that?
The first time we considered green communities, and we said no, in effect. I'm reconsidering that.
Why?
I think that the time has come to be more environmentally sensitive. I think that a lot of the building codes already encompass this, so why not, poor choice of words, but buy into it in order to be able to apply for grants that are available to the green communities.
Yeah. Okay. The Wing School.
Okay.
What's your thought on the Wing School? Where we are with that whole project, that whole development?
I was on the committee that voted to endorse SCT, and we knew their process of application to the state was going to be involved, lengthy, but they've done it in the past. They built a nice facility in an old school, in a former school over in Bourne. It's beautiful, and I maintain a confidence that that's what's going to happen at the Wing School.
Are you in favor of the bond?
Yes.
Give me your top 2 reasons why.
Oh gosh, it's part of infrastructure maintenance that the facilities are all in excess of 30 years old, and the lifespan of these things has been reached, and it's an investment in the future of the school buildings, and rather than delay until an emergency occurs, and A, the inconvenience, B, it'll cost you probably twice as much to repair the item that breaks. Yeah. So it's time to do it. And I'm also in favor of the relocation of the school department into it'll be the former a human resources facility. It's the thing, they've moved around so much. We own the building, let's get in and use it. We own it, we're vacating it, let's get in and maintain it and use it. 21 people are going in there.
Yeah. Some of your challengers have said that there's a lot, that this is a board and this is a town that just spends and spends and spends. I've never seen an election come where people are accusing a town or a board of selectmen of overspending. There's always that "you're spending too much" argument that you hear somewhere along the lines, but it seems loud here. Am I reading that right? That there is this notion and opinion within our greater community that the town is just spending too much?
I hear that opinion, but I don't think it's in the greater a community. It's out of the mouths of a few.
Okay. So you really feel like that's a narrow
I do.
and loud opinion?
I do.
Okay.
I think we've accomplished a lot, is the bottom line in my mind.
Give me a specific example of something that speaks to those who say you're spending too much, but give me an example of something that counters that argument.
Well, the accomplishments being the library and the emergency services facility, the Center for Active Living is going to be a great facility. That's where I am with it.
You believe in what's happening?
Oh, absolutely.
You believe in it.
Absolutely. We should be good for decades. After a certain number of things are done, that we should be good for decades. Everything will stabilize.
If I'm standing there, and I will, on May 5th, and I'm in that booth and I've got my pen, put something in my head that says, Greg, you really got to vote for Charlie. Why would I vote for you?
I've got the overall good of Sandwich in my heart, and I've become such a part of the community that I shouldn't say you can't, but you really can't ignore me at this point.
You're everywhere.
I try.
I think there are 5 of you, in fact, Charlie, because you're here and then you're there, and I'm like, how did that happen? Charlie, good luck.
Thank you very much.
It is a pleasure to see you again. Our goal here, I say it all the time, our goal here at Sandwich Community Television is really to bring you the best that we can as it relates to right out of the mouths of those who are running for office, right into your ears and your perspective. So by the time you show up on May 5th for voting, you've got a really good idea. And we thank our partners over at the Sandwich Enterprise for helping us. And of course, this fantastic team at Sandwich Community Television for putting all this together. I'm Greg Anderson, and we'll see you soon.
The views expressed in this program are the views of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the SCTV staff or board of directors.